the very first one, so I'm going to give us 5. So the very first one is, this is because fashion, okay, is very creative. So we are really geared to create. That's what we do. So when we need these outlets, it's easy to turn to fashion. And who doesn't love the ease of that type of connection? I mean, that's so lucrative. The fact that it's something that is easy to be able to do, that we know is really simple. It's really simplistic to the point where we know we have to have a dress for our evening dinner that's formal. We know that we have to have an outfit to entertain whatever new type of idea or launch that we may want to go to, and we have to dress and look the part. So that creative spirit really drives this particular business into its lucrative moment. So that's really a good thing. Number 2, this is because fashion is a niche, and that's art based. So what that means is that art is lucrative. Art is dealing with beauty on a fashion forward front and form. So if everybody's talking about we got good form, and let's get into formation, but what is reformating? Reformating is understanding that lucrativeness and thoughts in the particular niche of fashion stems from a spirit, stems from spirits that want to dress a certain way, from souls that want to discuss certain topics, but at the same token in time as they're doing those things, they also want themselves draped in the finest of silks and fabrics because it feels soft to the touch. We don't want to deal with, well, soft to the touch means those are things that are not of an irritant to our skin. There are things that soothe our souls, our flesh, and those are things that soothes whatever the rashes may have been. And that's where the lucrativeness comes in it. And that again is why this particular niche is as lucrative as we actually perceive this particular niche to be, because that's really just an honest answer. I mean, we know that we're willing to pay top quality for silks and cashmeres. Those type of fabrics in this particular niche of fashion allows us to experience that luxury, and luxury equals lucrative. And lucrative so much so to the point where the fact is that lucrativeness is, and I mean, how many other ones is it? There's silk, 100% pure silk, 100% cotton, leather, 100% leather is another lucrative one. The fact that you got to have pure cashmere is, a girl was just on TikTok the other day just saying that she actually went and found for the very first time her sweater and all the ones that she had dealt with before, like polyester or whatever, something like that, to that effect, that to the point where she actually just only wanted to deal with strictly cashmere. And I'm sure this lady is spending some ends to actually accomplish this vision. And that's why this business is so lucrative. I'm going to say this. People, okay, so think of self-preservation. As we preserve our items of clothing, it's kind of sort of like the same niche as preserving ourselves, because we are. When we neglect our skin, what happens? We have outbreaks of rashes, and rashes are irritants. They are irritating. They just are. No one likes to see it. No one likes to pick at it. No one likes to feel this way. So when we take care of ourselves by applying the highest of fashion pieces that deals with the silk fabrics, the cashmere fabrics, the 100% leathers. We're simply saying that we care about ourselves. This self-care equals lucrative business. Okay, so number 3. Now, this fashion business is lucrative because fashion means very visual. So even myself now, you see me staring inside of my own reflection. You see me looking so hard, and that's because fashion forward thinkers and creative spirits and influencers and creators, however you want to say it, they understand that fashion is a soft first, act after. We see it in our minds first, and then we act it out, and now we actually see it visually onto, whether it's the mass market, whether it's just something that you're getting altered and you see it a certain way and it was there, but now it's also seen a certain way based off your own form, dealing with your altered thoughts and progresses towards what it is that you wanted to see when it comes to dealing with fashion. That's why it's lucrative as well. And that's where the alterations is actually a spin-off from its fashion kind of sort of forefront and universal image and picture. And it's such a spin-off to the point where, I mean, if I'm speaking personally from my own experiences and I have to go and find an outfit and I need a garment for Prime. So if I have the garment that's there and it's only a few of them, this size is way too small, but it's also so to the point when you're at the extreme opposite end. So the extreme now is going to be just as weird as the opposite side. So now I need to go to the alterations department. So now I'm at the alterations department and I need some, I have to find what the spirit is that actually benefits in between. How often can we do that? Now you multiply that times the billions of people in this world, then you get where the lucrative spirits are spinning from. It's from, again, having a desire to have that moment there where you can realize that you want to have a visual aesthetic. You want to have a visually pleasing aesthetic. And again, that's where and why this fashion is stemming from a place of lucrativeness. Okay, and then the 4th one is going to actually revolve around celebrity. So this is because high-end clients also drives this business into its lucrative spaces. So that means celebrities. So celebrities are so fashion forward. I was just blogging how to dress like a celebrity. All of the girls were trying to do, going on to their favorite celebrities' Instagrams, and they dress like them for a week. And yeah, so you're driving the sales in these places. And sometimes I guess that's why they're necessarily some of the go-to for the influencers. But I just made a post the other day about the colors and the fact that you can kind of sort of, well, I say it to say that you can check that out if you like, but you mentioned the celebrities that are there, and then you follow us on Instagram, and then there's also other moments where you get to actually experience where we actually name drop even Kourtney Kardashian. So the fact that celebrities have to necessarily be taken with a grain of salt is something that we need to kind of sort of learn how to keep in mind, because you just always want to practice being in moderation with things. But nonetheless, it doesn't take away from the fact that their main go-to, which we are starting to kind of sort of steer away from, and more so to the authentic person who really cares for these particular brands. And it's not just about your next paycheck necessarily, so to speak, either. So celebrities definitely drive these type of fashion forward pieces because they're considered the it girls. So if you're considered the it girls of this particular culture, can you imagine how so you have to put in major effort. Your effort has to be to the point where you drive the sales nonetheless. You have to be able to accept that type of responsibility, which is difficult. And that's why celebrities are often considered divas, or consider constantly have to have like that weighted on hand and foot, or their list of all of the different things that they can do before they choose to go ahead on and agree and carry out whatever the task was that's under contract. But necessarily, so to speak, you had to realize that that's driving some things. That's quite a bit of responsibility, and you don't want to. And when we kind of sort of choose to just take it a little willy-nilly, we can pull out these contracts and say, now, okay, this is what you agreed to. These are the terms These are the things that are driving our business and why it's as lucrative as it is. So please stick to these type of things. And celebrities are always saying, what, you're going to sign a non-disclosure? Lady Gaga, you got a multi-million-dollar contract and you need the fashion looks to go along with it. Lucrative. Right? And I just heard the other day that people were discussing some of the, I want to say, concert tickets were just outrageous. Even Beyonce's were outrageous, but her outfits, lucrative. They are extremely flamboyant. They are to the extreme. They are extremely bright and glitter and rhinestone out for like, and even just thinking of fashion now, when she did the Renaissance, when Beyonce completed her little Renaissance project that she had did for, and people think that's art, but that's not what the whole entire art piece is. So when she did that album, she needed a piece of fashion art in order to actually come across as authentic as she needed in order to sell what she wanted to sell. And so what she did was, Beyonce did reach out, that was her decision, to some people on Etsy, the average Joe. And when she got to when the Etsy seller and this particular celebrity crossed paths, there was a transaction that was made that put this particular seller on. We all seen it. Everybody saw how she wanted the one particular hat, the cowboy hat. Of course, she's from Houston, so I was about to get ready to say something else, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Let y'all go ahead on and figure it out for yourself, because I'm sure y'all good at it. And so now you have the moment where a celebrity is not able to find and go to nobody else except for what it is that you sell. And that completes the whole entire feel and look of that particular Renaissance album. And so that's a good sign, though, because it's not forefronted anymore, just the ticket sales. Oh, this is just so ain't nobody doing it. Now it's like, oh, okay, these are the ticket sales, but I'm also being sold too. So now it's kind of like sharecropping. You don't really hear that often. So that's a really great, clear sign that something in the celebrities actually drive the forces that makes fashion lucrative. And I know people think that it's just always going to be about your album or your sales, but it's really just a misunderstanding there. That's ultimately not the case, because without necessarily those who were putting this young lady on, necessarily, so to speak, there really was nothing to see. So therefore the sales plummet. And then you have the other, and so that's just a generalized observation. But again, celebrities are like the bread and butter of fashion industry's lucrative, period. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I mean, it's really just that simple. Can't nobody else say nothing else about it. I'm just telling you. Okay, like and subscribe as well for that. So thank you. Okay, and so this is also 5, because fashion can revolve around colors, hues, and tones. OMG. So now you can check out the prior video where I discuss colors and their creative spirits as well. Black and yellow, the dress that Aaliyah wore, that was black and yellow at the VMA Awards, I want to say, is a prime example of how that particular color was just so eye-catching. I didn't see nobody else with those type of combination on for colors ever. I don't think I ever did again. I don't believe I ever did see somebody else put it off as well. And I probably won't ever in my own lifetime. And I'm okay with that. I feel very contented to have that type of privilege. And so again, but colors are a big driving factor, which makes this particular niche so lucrative. There is moments where you only want one certain color, and Lord forbid they do not have it lucrative. They will flip. I mean, just knowing that somebody else has these type of instances and just not being able to do nothing else, people are constantly asking, what color is it that you prefer? Lucrative. Every time somebody else always wants to know whatever the color is. And then the colors stem from having those moments too, where you want to present yourself a certain way. Lucrative. All right, I'm out. I'm gone. But nonetheless, I had so much fun. And I thank y'all for coming and